I've been starting to focus a lot more on, okay, what am I gonna do with my money to multiply it? And I own 2 commercial properties. Obviously I own a home. And so I'm like, I really wanna get good at building more wealth. Like I wanna be making at least between 5 to 10K per month in passive income, and that's net. So I've been listening to podcasts, go figure, I've purchased courses, the whole deal. And so I was at the gym today and I was listening to one of these courses. And so he was talking about like these different strategies for finding deals, specifically with single family homes, which personally I would like to get a property in every asset class and then see what I like better and then just go vertical. And he's like, one of the things that you should do is, it's not a great use of time. You shouldn't just get in your car and go drive all over town, but if you're on your way home, maybe take a different road. What you want to look out for are these for sale by owner signs, because a lot of times, more often than not, these for sale by owner, they're way overpriced. However, sometimes somebody doesn't know how to price it. They price it wrong, and you can go in and get a hell of a deal and get equity right out the gate. I was like, oh, I just saw a for sale by owner. And by the way, I live in a market. I live in St. George, Utah. The market is sizzling hot. I know it's the case. It seems like for everywhere right now, and so I'm like, crap, I need to go check this out. So I get in my car, I get done with the gym. Just so you guys know, I'm a human just like you guys. So I'm going, and on the way there, I'm like having this debate. I'm like, so I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna go to the for sale by owner. I'm planning it out. I'm like, I'm gonna go get the number, and I'm gonna call them and ask them how much it's for and how much they're selling it for. And one of the things he said, he's like, make sure that you ask them, hey, are you open to seller financing? And if you guys don't know what seller financing, that's when they act as the bank and you pay them off over a period of time. You pay them a down payment and all this different stuff. But it's kind of like, for a lot of people, they won't even consider it. So it's kind of one of those things where you got to kind of be bold a little bit to ask, because a lot of people would have, like, definitely wouldn't even consider it. And so I'm like, dude, I need to call. I need to find out how much it is. And I also should, because he said I should ask about if they're open to seller financing. And this is like an 8-minute drive from the gym to my home. And the whole way there, I start going into what I like to call little bitch mode. And I start telling myself stories, because I know it's going to be uncomfortable, because even though I love sales, I've never called off of a for sale by owner sign and asked these questions. So I start going into little bitch mode, and I'm like, no, they're not going to do seller finance. Like, who am I kidding? Like, first of all, the home's probably not even for sale anymore because it's probably gone. Who the hell would do seller finance in this market when homes are getting gobbled up? And I'm telling myself these stories, and I'm like, who am I kidding? I don't even have time to go and make this phone call. It's just kind of a waste of time. Like, I don't really need to do. And I'm telling myself all these things, and it's interesting because I'm like, dude, I am literally experiencing what a lot of you guys are experiencing right now. You haven't made a lot of phone calls. This is your first couple phone calls, and maybe you've even been in sales before, but this is your first couple of prospecting calls doing this, and it's uncomfortable. You hear me and it's like, yeah, all you gotta say is this. It's easy. Just like me hearing this guy on this course that I bought saying, yeah, you just ask them if they do seller financing, and to him it's no big deal, but to me, as somebody new, it was cool, because I'm like, there's 8 minutes. I was tormented. I'm like, dude, I went through hell in my head. I'm like, I know I need to do it, but like, it sounds, and guys, I'm somebody that loves sales, and I still had those feelings of like talking myself out. Well, and I made all the excuses, just like you guys do. Well, I should prospect today, but I don't have my list completely built. Well, I should prospect, but they're actually not even paying for Google ads. They're only paying for Angie's list. And Nick said that Angie's list isn't as good as Google ads. So like, they're probably not going to be interested anyway. Like, I'm not even going to waste my time, right? I did that, guys. That is what I call little bitch mode. And a lot of you guys are in it right now. And until you guys make those calls, nothing's going to happen. And so finally, what I did is I actually missed the turn, and I'm like, all right, I'll just go. And my wife was actually at home. She had purchased lunch, and I'm like, and okay, there's another reason. I'm like, well, they're going to be waiting on me. And I'm like, you know what? Knock it off, Nick. And this is this internal battle, and it was really cool to observe, because I'm like, this is what you guys are going through. And I've been through it, and I was through it today. So I flip around, and it was gone. So I missed my shot. I hadn't even had the thought to call when I saw it the first day, because I just had never done it. But even though I didn't like get to make the call, like, I had made up my mind. I'm like, okay, turn around, you're going to make the call. And I was just going to pull up to the house and call him. But so I got the confidence of like, okay, I know if that would have been there, I was going to make a call. The point is this, and this is what I was thinking about you guys today. Anyone on here, it's like, anytime you get into something new, even if you have sales experience, even if you're comfortable talking to people, even if you're comfortable on the phone, when you're making those first couple of calls, maybe it's the first couple of calls you've made of that month, maybe it's the first couple of calls in this new business, in this new service you're offering called lead gen. It's scary. I get it. I just dealt with it today, and guys, this is not a big deal of a call. I was like in my head thinking, well, I could call and ask about price, that's no big deal, but like for some reason I was just all weird in my head about asking about seller financing. And it's like you go through all these worst case scenarios. Well, what if they yell at you on the phone? And what if they tell you, no, hell no, I would never do seller financing? And you just start going down this rabbit hole. It's like, dude, I could have just asked the question and they would have said, no, I've never considered that, or what do you mean? And I could have explained what I was looking for. Anyway, I'm with you. I understand that for some of you guys, this is scary. Those first calls when you haven't talked, I think the prospecting stuff is the most intimidating. Those first couple calls are tough, but the only way to make money, you have to make contact. And the only way to make contact is by calling them, by picking up the phone and calling them. And so at the end of the day, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but to hit our goals, if you guys have set your goal for the year and you guys have created your map of how you're gonna get there, until you pick up the phone and make that uncomfortable call, you will never, ever, ever, ever have a chance of closing them.